Welcome to Town Hall number 5, Fun 6. Who is bringing us? Who's the? I think it's. I think it's Dominic. Dominic, you feel ready?
I'm ready, yeah. So good evening, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the experiment. As you all know, things may break, lack documentation, differ greatly between iterations, disorient, overload, and inspire. And our goal is to provide a safe and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential of human collaboration. Welcome to the town hall.
Yeah. So Dominic, what's your interpretation? Why do you think they put the image of a stopwatch there?
Well, it's the last minutes and seconds before submission phase, or before the finalization of the proposals is done. So we all have kind of a busy night or busy last hours ahead of us. I think that's the meaning.
That's right. So welcome. You've been a funded proposer in part of the Fund 5 cohort.
Right.
And you have some update for us.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, as you all know, or most of you know, we need many new advisors to handle the workload that comes with 800 proposals in Fund 6. And in addition, there's also an increased demand for high quality assessments. So I think today is the perfect day to announce or launch a new created tutorial for community advisors. And yeah, basically the tutorial is about accelerating the learning curve in writing excellent assessments. And from my own experience, I can say that there are definitely some learnings. And this tutorial is based on feedback and insights from many experienced CAs. And I also share my own approach and the guiding questions I keep in mind when assessing proposals. And yeah, what I want to point out here is that this tutorial does not replace reading the official CA guidelines or so. Rather, I recommend reading those first and then viewing the tutorial, because the added benefit of the tutorial is that it provides more context with the insights and tips. And the main part of the tutorial is, of course, to do live assessments and write examples of what an excellent assessment could look like. The video overall is 35 minutes, but doesn't mean that you have to watch all. Pick the topics that you're interested in. So I begin with talking about basics. That includes also the characteristics of an excellent proposal or excellent assessment. And yeah, who should do the tutorial? Well, definitely new CAs, but also when you want to have a little refresher or just want to see what somebody else is thinking. Yeah, I would have been very happy if there had been a something similar when I was CA at the first time. Yeah, next slide. I think the link in the tutorial is, I think somebody is sharing it in the chat. And yeah, of course, feedback is welcome. I was already able to present it to about 40 new CAs in the Swarm sessions on last Saturday, and the feedback was very positive, but also very helpful. So thanks for that, for those who joined. And yeah, the tutorial is part of this iterative process that we are having here. So if you find aspects that can be improved, I'm sure there are some. Yeah, please let me know. Yeah, please let me know that. And yeah, that's it. I'm looking forward to a very busy week.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And it's really great. And I wanted to ask, so now that you've completed the tutorial, what's next for you? Like is this like the end of the proposal, or there's like more components? Like what's coming up?
Well, there will be definitely an update for the next fund. So this is kind of a quick and dirty solution because this was made in the last few days. And I think there are more topics that I can cover, and also I think the quality could be better probably. But yeah, there will definitely be an update for the next one. Maybe also the process is gonna change then. So this is also included in the proposal. Yeah, but this is kind of the first big milestone, and yeah, very happy to be able to deliver it today, and so we can use it already and improve it for the next ones.
Nice. So like, do you have any like, so I'm sure in the tutorial you cover like the technical aspect, the analytical aspects, the, like all the methodology, right, to produce excellent assessments, but what would you be like your recommendation for someone who wants to have like a really good experience being a CA, like a satisfying experience? What would you recommend them?
Well, what I think makes your job easier is if you start to choose one challenge that is close to your interests, to your knowledge, to your experience, and start with that and stick to that at first. And maybe before assessing one proposal, or start with one proposal, browse through all the proposals in the challenge and get kind of a feeling. What is the quality? What is the what is the average maybe? And so this gives you maybe a good starting point before you go into one proposal and don't know the context maybe. So this is kind of my approach always.
Great. Yeah, it's a good tip. And I think that also, I think beyond being more satisfying, it's a great kind of stepping stone towards being a member of a challenge team, right? Because if you focus on if a challenge and then you start to see it from different perspectives, and you start to get kind of like the knowledge about the state of the art, who's trying to solve the problem, how they're doing. It's like you're building up your own knowledge and expertise, and and then in a matter of months, or maybe years, but mostly like I think in a matter of months, you can really become an expert about this problem space. So that's also really cool. That's like also complementary to what you're saying. So thank you so much. And next we have another funded proposer for the Fund 5 cohort, George.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Well, maybe just tell us, show us what you got.
This time I'll try and keep it under 30 minutes from last time. Apologies again. Apologies again. 5, count me down. Cool. Yeah, so I just wanted to give an update for all the four proposals, and thank you again for voting for us for Fund 5. We have 4 proposals we're working on. I'll get straight into it. So first one we've been working on is the community list. Slow and steady. We're on 57 community members so far. Our approach to this is to kind of take it slowly over time. It's like allow it to grow with the community and then get feedback in a longer kind of time frame rather than trying to kind of, spend all our kind of resources on it now. We just want to allow that time to feedback to come in. And some of the things that's really going to add value to this is when we kind of bring in kind of more features to things like proposals. So I think the other features we're kind of looking at are the things that are going to help grow this rather than us just keep on spamming on Reddit, spamming on this, trying to kind of grow that list. So that's kind of our approach to it at the moment. But my call to action for this is if you missed out on Fund 6 and you're looking to try and join something, this is a great time just to add yourself to this list. It only takes like a couple minutes to sign up, and then you're there on the list, and that's it. And that's all you have to do. Add in some like how to contact you, nice and easy. And on the other side of the coin, if you're a proposer and you're looking for someone, then why not have a check on the list? Obviously, there's also the Discord chat where you can check kind of the dev channels. But if you can find someone, great. I think over time, hopefully, there'll be more and more chance you might be able to find someone that could be really useful for your proposal. So that's it on the community list one. That's just going to keep on going. We'll probably finish that one in quite a few months' time. So that's just going to be ticking along. This one's the big one I kind of need some feedback on. So I recorded a video that is 26 minutes long for looking at all the education resources. So we've already kind of made a list of resources on the Project Catalyst site. And from that experience and seeing how the process is at the moment, I took that and then kind of looked at some solutions that would make sense. So there's a YouTube link there as follows, and there's also a form at the end to kind of gather some feedback. my intention is that next week I'll do an after town hall session and allow some time people to get some feedback, and then I'll try and collate all that information, and then after that, then hopefully have a meeting of IOG and kind of hope to guide some kind of idea of what could make sense to try and share the responsibility, give something that IOHK can trust and move in straight away, and kind of help really improve the education resources. And I think that is it for that one. So yeah, please read, or you can also look at the presentation for that. You can also look at the presentation for that if you just want to go through it really quickly, if you don't want to watch the video. Completely up to you. And for the next two proposals, so we've got two proposals on improved proposal information, so like adding better tagging, improving that kind of data structure, and then also kind of helping with the tracking, making sure it's really easy to find all of that kind of funding data attached to the proposals. Our initial process for this was to kind of collect all the data from all the different sources, standardize it, do that manual processing with adding the better tagging, provide access to that in an open source repository, add a simple ICE to kind of use it and filter it on the project kind of Catalyst site, and then also kind of work with the community on whoever kind of needs that information to kind of nice simple access to kind of work with that kind of simple API. Though that plan over the last few weeks with Fund 6 has changed. We move on to the next slide. We've now made a new partnership with Lido Nation. So when in Fund 6 on the audit grow auditability challenge, we found Lido Nation were looking at looking at some similar kind of problems that we had for Fund 5 with the directly in the data, bringing that all together, kind of adding functionality on that. And after reaching out and talking to Stephanie in Darlington, we realized it was a really good matchup because I'm more of a front-end developer, mobile and web, and Darlington has loads of DevOps and back-end experience. So we just made a perfect kind of collaboration point where he could get involved with our Fund 5 funding, so we can kind of distribute that between ourselves and get that first bit done, and then work together on also kind of making this kind of community API, making sure that data is nice and robust and available, so everyone in the community can use it. So really good matchup. So really excited for that. There's also a link there for their proposal if you want to check it out. And I think we've also got some other proposals in that one also that it's worth having a look at. So I think that's it for that one. And that's it. I think that's hopefully 3 minutes or 4 minutes, hopefully quite quick. Throw me a message on Discord or anything like that if you have any questions or anything like that. Love some feedback on the education resources, because that's like kind of a week I'm going to leave for kind of getting feedback on that. And that's it. So hopefully talk to you guys all soon.
Hooray!
Thank you very much.
Wow, well done, George. I think, yeah. You're one of the people that if you go on YouTube and like put yourself in like, kind of 25 or 50% slower, then you sound like a regular speed.
Yeah.
So, but that's actually, that's a gift. That is a gift. It's really great. I wish I could talk as fast as you.
It's too much watching Charles at 2x speed. I've just kind of got used to it.
I think, well, first of all, this looks amazing, and I love the project, and I love the collaboration. I like how as you go along, you modify the plan, change the plan, engage in partnerships, thinking about infrastructure, open infrastructure, and like, how things can build on top of what you're building. It's really, really inspiring. It's really great. I think that one of the next initiatives us as a Catalyst team are going to do is like, we're going to start to set up some kind of integration communication hub. So like basically like starting with like something like a Telegram group, like of all the people, all the funded proposers that are involved with modifying processes in Catalyst, and like have them all together in a shared place. Have a shared place where everybody can talk and coordinate and integrate between each other, and also that we can integrate, because there's like a lot of amazing stuff happening, and we want to lift everybody up, and we're in a situation where we have thousands of people coming every week, joining every week, and it can take them time to find, discover all the gems. So I think the goal is to also, in like what we do and how we communicate, is to make it easy to discover these gems, also for new people, and maybe have shared open APIs, and just make it a lot easier for everybody to experience Catalyst to the fullest. So thank you for also inspiring us to do that.
Thanks for having me. Absolute pleasure.
Hooray. So thanks, George. I think now we'll move swiftly to the next part. Today is the final day, right? I mean the deadline is tomorrow, 11 a.m. UTC, for finalizing proposals, and tomorrow and basically, yeah, and starting tomorrow, we're getting into the incredibly important proposal review phase. This is where the community advisors review proposals, and it's gonna be interesting and challenging with more than 800 proposals on the out there. So what to do in the last few hours? Okay, so final call to edit proposals before September 9th. It's not just about modifying your content, and also modifying also remember that if you don't mention an ADA amount, if a dollar amount to your proposal, or the amount is zero, you're not going to get on the ballot, right? Because it's not, the purpose of this is to fund projects that ask for money. So if no money is mentioned, or it's zero money, there's no point. Okay, so make sure that you fill that rubric. And also important that, I think as important as filling up the content of the proposal is also fill up your team. So if there's co-proposers that you want to add, this is a great time to add them. And specifically, all the teams that are the challenge teams, all the teams that are proposing challenges in the challenge setting, really now the time is to buff up the challenge team. Okay, so for people to be eligible for challenge team rewards, you need to be a co-proposer. Okay, so make sure, audit your own proposal, ask your main proposer to just make sure that he includes you there, so you're eligible for rewards. Lastly, we have the community advisor registration. Huge emphasis point to this funding round. Let's see if we can make it in terms of get a lot of high quality assessments. Yeah, and it's and you can basically, if you haven't registered yet, you can still register and assess. But just note that just 1 week to do the entire thing. Chris, are you around?
Yeah, I'm here. Thankfully this week, no nationwide internet outages. So hi guys, I just want to say a few words about the challenge setting challenge for Fund 7. So as you know, there is more than $5 million worth of ADA that's available for challenge setting. We are going to hold a special workshop after Town Hall. Really, it's a Q&A with me so that you can ask questions. And I guess I come at this with a position of authority in so much as I've had a challenge funded by Catalyst that I proposed. So I have a reasonable understanding of what it takes to hit the measure of success. I'm just going to reiterate this point that Door's already made, that if you are going to be a challenge team, you really need to make sure that all of your team members are listed as co-proposers on IdeaScale. And again, if you, I think there's a strength in numbers. There's a power in bringing on new resources to help you with this challenge team's duties. And so, yeah, so I would encourage you to think, if there's anybody else, maybe in the community that that wants to join a challenge team that hasn't yet joined your team, then include them as co-proposers on your proposal. We've got guidelines clickable in the link there, and we'll also be talking a little bit about clarity for CAs as well. So just going to talk to you a little bit about challenge teams very quickly now, Can we move on the slides? So challenge teams is a fairly new concept that we've introduced into Catalyst. Essentially, you're kind of custodians of the challenge. In order to be eligible for a $2,500 worth of ADA challenge teams award, there's 3 things you need to do. You must nominate yourselves and as co-proposers in the proposal. We've already said that. You must submit the challenge by the deadline tomorrow. And there are a number of duties to fulfill as a challenge team in order to receive the incentive. And you will only receive that incentive once these duties are fulfilled. To run you through those, we can progress. You need to firstly present the challenge to the community at the start of the following funds. So when we begin Fund 7, you'll be introducing that challenge and what it means to you and why it's important, and the context and information and specific return on intention that you hope to see achieved. You need to facilitate a challenge-focused breakout session after one of town halls and lead a retrospective session during the next fund's retrospective week. So for those of you that don't know what a retrospective is, it's essentially looking at what went well, what could potentially be improved, what other sorts of insights and collective wisdom you can collate and get input from the community to help deliver this challenge and its return on intention. Also, once we've selected, and I'll say we in terms of the whole Catalyst community, once we've selected winning proposals funded under your challenge, you need to facilitate a session with them, with those funded projects, in order to really kick off their project delivery. And then as a challenge team, as I mentioned earlier, you are the custodians of that challenge to some extent. And for the 3 months following, until I guess the governance and kickoff of the next governance of the next fund, and then the kickoff of the current fund and kickoff of the next fund, you're going to be responsible for communicating sort of key insights and outputs related to the progress of the projects that are funded under that. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you at the after town hall session. One other slide just to sort of talk about in the context of the challenge setting criteria. So if you're a challenge team, you're a challenge team that submitted a challenge setting challenge proposal, right? So the key 3 criteria that you need to be mindful and communicate clearly to voters and the community advisors is, around alignment. Why does this challenge represent value to Cardano as an ecosystem, and why is it critical to achieve the mission? Why is it timely to do this now? What happens if we don't focus on this challenge now? It's the feasibility of the challenge. Now, do we think that the existing community has the capacity to address that challenge? Do you have the capacity to help see through that challenge during the next fund? And then verifiability. This is, I think, part and parcel, one of the most important aspects of this is, what are the measures of success? What does good look like in the context of your challenge? What would be the success criteria and suggested metrics that you would be employing to help measure the progress, and whether or not the challenge or the proposals are helping to solve the challenge? Each of those proposals that win the challenge are likely to have their own nuanced metrics, but there should be some guiding principles as to what it is that we as a community can baseline as to whether or not the challenge has been a success. So yeah, again, I look forward to hopefully seeing you a little later on. Thanks, Dor.
Thanks, Chris. All right, a special announcement. I wish we could have announced it a bit earlier, but here we are. During the Cardano summit, we announced all these tracks that are gonna happen, and it was decided recently that since Catalyst is so so successful, and also we're seeing so much FUD around Cardano being, for example, a ghost chain, if you remember. We thought that both for the sake of the network and also for each one and for each proposer to get a chance to talk directly with voters, we're going to open up a special track in the Cardano Summit. So that's like a big deal because, I think we have around 50,000 people already registered to the summit, and probably most of them are voters. Okay, so we're giving each team, it could be all 800 teams, we give you a chance to talk directly to voters, to present your project, to present your proposals to them. And it will be a short presentation, like 2 to 5 minutes presentation. And they're just going to be like, for 48 hours for the 2 days of the conference. They're just going to be categorized according to the challenge and presented one after the other. And and everybody gets to have a chance to get exposed, okay, to what you're bringing to the table. And starting tomorrow, we're going to share a slide template, okay, to making life easier for you in terms of like how to structure the presentation. And that would include detailed instructions, how to be like, like how to produce the video, like what's the recording standards and stuff like that, how to upload it. So if you're a proposer, expect an email tomorrow with all the details. There's already one document ready about just like how to set up your recording environment for good quality. And I think the hitch, so this is like incredible. The hitch is that the deadline is very tight. Okay, so Monday, that's like in just a few days, 11 UTC, is the deadline to submit. We don't, just to be clear, we are not expecting fancy productions. We don't expect any editing. Okay, we just expect you to be you. Okay, like to be just directly and shortly, behind like a regular, in the background is like your room or your office or whatever, and you just talk about your proposal. Okay, that's actually great. This is kind of like the spirit, and so don't overcomplicate things. Just focus on like clear presentation. And that people get to know you a bit, who you are, be able to assess you a bit, and to enhance their decision making capabilities. And of course, we know there's also a ID Fest that will happen like 1 week later. So the difference between this and ID Fest is this is just a frontal presentation. In ID Fest, it's going to be more interactive, right? There's going to be moderators, and there's going to be Q&A, and an opportunity to get into a deeper dive. So my recommendation is do both, okay? And you can even treat this the summit presentation as almost like a warm-up, or like setting the stage for voters for ID Fest. So yes, so expect a sign-up form in your email tomorrow. Also, in advisor registration is still underway. All you need to do is open ID Scale, fill in the rubric here, say that you do want to register as a CA, and we will send you an email with all onboarding information. You can also join the CA Telegram challenge for support, and there's also a CA guide for you to read to learn about how to be a CA. That's not counting all the amazing initiatives and tutorials that are out there for you. We're gonna cover it as well. So some updates from the Catalyst Circle. We are the Circle. here are our images, your representatives of different functional groups. And what we do is we coordinate, we source problems from the community, we identify issues, and we do everything in our power to address them. And mostly by inspiring and facilitating and encouraging the community to solve it by using their own agency. So I think the main part here is, so we just kind of cover a few quick updates. We'll talk about the community advisor onboarding that we were dealing with as an emergency thing. Talk about the CC facilitator team. We talk about the funding challenge that we're submitting, that we're endorsing to solve one of the problems we identified, and just like improving our own processes with having like a secretary added to the circle that would help us organize better. Our next meeting is September 9th, and you can look at our Trello board to look at basically all the problems we've identified and the progress from the first stage of just being a problem that's identified to something that's being discussed and well defined, and then communicated back to the community, and then tracking how these problems are getting solved. There's also a Git book that tracks our conversations and in detail. So please use these resources if you want to kind of get to know us better. Victor, is that your turn?
Yeah. Thanks, Thor. So this is CAs, because as Thor mentioned, we are having 800 proposals on Fund 6, and we are trying to get at least 5 reviews or 5 assessments per proposal. So we had this initiative that came from a circle to outreach and
Howdy, Victor, just to interrupt you real quick, can you just re-unplug your mic perhaps? There's a lot of noise and it's hard to comprehend. Just try to.
Yeah, either you have a mic problem or you've been abducted by evil robot aliens that are
Probably aliens.
Is it any better now?
Yes.
Great. So, as I was trying to say, we might be facing a problem of too many proposals. It's not really a problem for Catalyst, but we need to bring some more people to help us to assess and review all these proposals. So the Catalyst Circle initiated this community advisor outreach and onboarding campaign that's been going on for at least 1 week now. And the question is why to become a community advisor. So in this way, you can assess and advise the future builders of Cardano. You can be an active part of Catalyst project, and you can also earn rewards by doing so. So it's kind of a win-win situation. We need you, Catalyst needs CAs, and you are going to be paid for doing something that you probably like to do since you are here already. So we've been running some CA workshops and onboarding sessions since last week. First one was the after town hall last week. Then we had another one for the Eastern town hall on Thursday. And on Saturday, we had another one, which was in partnership with Dominic, who presented here the tutorials for community advisors. And we are having another one today in the after town hall again. So if you want to learn how to be a CA, this is going to be an introductory session. So feel free to join us, to join the breakout room. And we can see in the next slide that we are already having some results, because we had 93 signups for this session so far, and 75% of these signups are for new CAs. So this is something that it's good. We are bringing more people to the process.
Yeah, I want to add here that I just looked at in ID scale, and we already have around 1,000 CAs, more than 1,000 CAs registered. But of course, we know that, like, for example, in Fund 5, like, we had like something like 1,400 registered, but that didn't translate into much activity. So it just highlights how important these workshops are actually, because it looks like we're gonna pretty much like double the amount of active CAs, right? According to these statistics.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, these numbers 93 is just for people who have signed up to the workshops, but there are more people who are attending who didn't sign up. And just as a reminder, if you are a proposer in Fund 6 as well, and you want to be a CA, you can be both roles. You just cannot be in the same challenge. For example, if you have proposal in 2 challenges, there are more 17 challenges where you can act as a CA.
Nice. Felix, are you going to talk about the facilitator team?
Laurie is going to speak about the facilitator.
I can jump in. Sure.
No.
So last week there was an after town hall meeting to interview the potential CC facilitators, and there were 3 of us candidates there. We decided to go way above and beyond and provide the Catalyst Circle a team instead of a single facilitator. So the first facilitator that we'll put forward will be Nadim, and he'll be working directly with the facilitator team, and then myself and Charlie will be supporting him and helping him craft agendas and providing backup. And then if Nadim can't attend for any reason, we'll have a substitute available. So there'll be continuity, and we'll be working with Nadim very closely on the back end to help him out and make sure that he has the support he needs as well. So that's kind of the way we're moving forward, and we're going to experiment to see how well this works. And we're really excited for the secretary selection today, because we expect to work very closely with that individual as well. So that's just a quick recap of what's been going on.
Yeah, and I just want to mention that all 3 of you are doing it in a completely volunteer, and completely just like making yourself available and your skills, and we really appreciate you and you stepping up and taking this kind of leadership. Basically, it's leadership and inspiring, and it's gonna set up the building blocks as the circle iterates. It's a really, really important step. So really, really thank you, all 3 of you.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm gonna call Felix, or maybe not. Maybe I should call the entire challenge team.
Just we skipped some slides.
Can you hear me, Dora? Allison is going to present for the Star Funding Challenge team.
Okay, great. Allison, when did you join Project Catalyst?
I joined Project Catalyst at Fund 0. I was part of the original focus group, and meeting you, Dora, was life-changing for me. And getting to be part of Catalyst from the beginning was so exciting. I then had to take a long enforced absence, and I can't tell you how happy I am to be back and part of Catalyst now. It really is, it is thrilling. And I am thrilled to have joined up with the Star Funding Challenge team. This is really, it's new to me. It's an experiment in about 5 different directions. So we're super excited to bring this to the community and see where it goes. But the idea here is, so we have formed a challenge team. Let me start there. So I'm joined with Nori Nishigaya, Tim, and Tyler Wales, and then Felix is guiding us and leading us as well. And we are forming as a challenge team. And then what we would like to do is propose our own challenge as part of the next fund that we hope to have included. And the idea behind our challenge is to seek proposals that would propose a more rapid method of funding projects. And alongside rapid funding, we're looking for funding mechanisms that would also be scalable, transparent, and accountable. So hence the name STAR. So the challenge is asking for proposals that are rapid, but also scalable, transparent, and accountable in order to experiment and see if there are different methods that could possibly deliver funds faster to projects. Because some projects might be more productive, again, it's an experiment, if they could receive funds more quickly in perhaps a different manner than the current Catalyst funding cycle. So it's kind of an experiment within an experiment within an experiment, and we're going to host a breakout session, I think, after the town hall. We're looking for feedback and thoughts around ideas with the existing funding mechanism and how having it be more rapid might be useful. So yeah, so looking for proposals around diverse types of rapid funding mechanisms that could help a wide variety of projects. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for giving me the stage, and I look forward to talking to everyone in the breakout room.
Hooray! Thank you. Thanks everybody who's been involved in it, and of course us in the. This is also like an experiment for us. It's like, well, it's so meta. Everything's so meta. It's like it's like the first. It's an experiment, but it's also like an experiment about the circle, right? Because this challenge didn't come up out of thin air. It came out because we went and talked with the community, and we talked with proposers, we talked with tool makers, we talked with all sorts of groups in Catalyst, and we identified this was a problem. And this was a tool that we're using, like the idea that we are bringing it to the surface, that we've invited the challenge team, and really thanks Felix, the fact that we've presenting it now, that we're promoting it, it's all part of what we're trying to do as a circle, which is like basically empower the community to solve its own problems. And so far so good, and thanks to you. So yeah, so now just we're about to start the whole community advisors thing, and just want to cover some big points. This is not a replacement for all the tutorials and onboarding and guidelines, but I just wanted to cover some big picture things in case people are, maybe some of you are still like a bit on the fence, if I should do it or how deeply I should do it. And here we go. Okay, so we're doing it to improve our decision making in Catalyst. The more insights we have about proposals, the more people take a deep dive, the better we can discern which ones should receive funding and hopefully get better outcomes. But also, it's our philosophy that it's not, unlike regular default systems, it's not just about one-off competition with winners and losers. It's actually, we're trying to rise everybody up. We're trying to, that every proposer, whether he gets voted in or not, has a meaningful experience where he grows and learns. So, and CAs are really in the front line of that. So it's not just about kind of review or assessment, it's also about giving useful, actionable feedback to proposers. And that's also part of what we define as an excellent review. Okay, like one that, win or lose, the person that made an effort to write a proposal and had the courage is getting something out of it, feedback, attention, things to chew on as he iterates and continues to propose in future funds. And like kind of almost like in contrast is, it's all nice and we're trying to create a very positive environment, but also you need to speak up as a CA. This is you're our guardian, right? You are basically, you have a lot of influence and you get what you ask for. So, if you give a proposal that's not very feasible a high rating of feasibility, that means that you're setting the stage going forward that a lot of projects that are low in feasibility get funded, okay, and what's the consequence of that, all right? Or if you're reading a proposal and it lacks clarity, it's like it's hard to understand what the intentions, how success is measured, stuff like that, and you give a high rating for it, is that you're inviting more of these types of proposals. So remember to be kind, but also be real, and put high standards, because that's gonna guide us in the future. It's gonna have a lot of influence. So so as you said, starts tomorrow, 1 week. Also, we're turning back the comments in ADScale, so basically enabling as much time for voters to have a direct conversations with proposers, regardless of CAs. So that's get turned back on. Identity. Okay, in order to prevent bias, we are keeping the identity of advisors anonymous. Okay, so you submit reviews, but people can't know it was you who submitted these reviews. Like the general public can't know. Two caveats about it. First of all, it's still an experimental feature. So there's always a possibility that there will be some kind of a leak and your identity will be revealed. We can't guarantee anonymity, okay? It's not like formally verified that your anonymity is preserved. There could be bugs, there could be issues. We've been running this for 6 rounds now. So far, so good. Nobody's, we had I would say we had maybe 1 or 2 tiny leaks, and they were reported early and we dealt with them. But overall, people's identity was kept safe. And but do note that all the reviews, all the performance of people, and linking it to their identity, we're keeping a record of it. Okay, this is everybody's engagement and participation and quality of work will serve you in the future as a baseline for a reputation system. Okay, so I mean, so right now we don't have a reputation system, but once we bootstrap a reputation system, this kind of records we're gonna use them. Okay, so to base a lot of the kind of let's say influence reputation that we determine for future CAs. So take a note of that. Okay, that's just something to keep in mind. Also, really note that you can't really assess a proposal without understanding the challenge. The first step for assessing a proposal is understanding the challenge and the context in which it is proposed, because it's all boils down to the question, is this proposal going to address the challenge effectively? And we look at it from 3 dimensions. One is impact, like how big would be the impact on solving the problem. The feasibility, like how risky is this thing to actually pull off? And then clarity, which is, well, is it clear? And was it articulated in a way that is sufficient and clear that you are actually able to assess it? Okay, so these are the three criteria, really key, big guardians of that. And once the reviews are done, the following is going to happen. First of all, every time we do this, we're including a rationale. Okay, it's not just about submitting, clicking some buttons and putting ratings. The heart of assessment is providing a rationale. Proposals without rationale will be removed and rejected, and also veteran community advisors are going to review your reviews and give it a score. So it's either gonna be a good review, an excellent review, or not accepted review. Okay, so rationale that are like lacking rationale or poor rationale, we're just gonna ignore them. Okay, because we are high standards are high for all dimensions of this process. And so once that initial filtering is done, we're gonna average the scores and present them in the voting app. You can see a screenshot of the voting app and how does it look like. And the other and a new feature that's introduced this fund is that people from the voting app itself can actually read the rationale of their reviews and browse through them to get even more insight. So you can see that on your right side in the image here, a mock of how that's going to look like. So that's about it. There's gonna be, it's really important and it's highly incentivized, like a total of 5% of all the fund is gonna be allocated for rewards for CAs and VCAs. And if you want to learn more about the incentives and their logic, look at the town hall slides or watch the video that we released last week. So there are the links for it. You know, the TLDR of the incentives is that we want every proposal to receive at least 5 reviews. We want to encourage good and excellent reviews. We want people to put their attention around more of the attention around proposals that are likely to be voted, around proposals that have large amounts of funding because they have more impact on the fund. And we want to discourage unfair and unthoughtful reviews. So even if you don't understand the math behind the incentive system, if you follow these general heuristics, you know, you're going to do well. Okay, so, you know, there's like lots of resources for you to track, as you probably learned once again. And just to wrap up, town halls every week, next one next week. There's a registration link, it's recurring, so you can save it, and for all future town halls you can use it. Before we go, the Catalyst team, the Voltaire team, is continuing to grow. There's still open positions. We're actually if we filled a lot of roles, but we're still looking for that lead UX product designer. And we're looking for a leader that works directly with me and other leaders to really create. We really want to create a system that's so easy to use that it's just like a natural, unavoidable choice for people to move away from current systems into a system that is much more gratifying, easy to use, easy to understand, and we need you as a leader. So please, if you know someone that can provide that leadership, refer him to this and have him apply. We're also asking for a marketing and communication manager. We want you. We want you. Okay, lots of links. Everybody wants to take a deep dive. Maybe I'll just highlight. Let's see. Yeah, we have a channel just to find bugs and tests. We're doing a dry run, and this time we have so many new features in the voting app that we really need your help. So in the next few weeks, we're gonna launch some of this dry run. So join this group and help us have a nail a smooth release. And now, introducing the Catalyst Swarm.
Yay! Thank you, Dor. Let me share my screen. So, can you all see?
Yep.
Perfect. So before we get into the after town hall, let me go through the different events that are here in the community each and every week. So first up, we have the Eastern Hemisphere Town Hall. As you all know, it's growing. And if you're in a different time zone and it's not suitable for you to tune into this regular town hall here, just go there. It's a really cool event with a lot of different communities there. So check it out. It's each Thursday at 12 p.m. UTC. Then we have the Playerment Town Hall, which is for everybody who's interested in gaming on blockchain and different projects that are developing there. So just check it out. Cool projects, cool people. Next up, we have the Gimba Labs playgrounds. So if you're developing or looking to connect to other developers, each Tuesday at 16 UTC, check it out. Next up, we have the Catalyst School, and currently there are workshops for the community advisors. As we all heard, it's very important right now. So we had last weekend, we had workshops, and today there's a breakout room, I think, again, about community advisors. So it's about education. Then we have the swarm sessions, which are each Saturday at 17 UTC, and it's basically for everybody. If you're interested in other people developing in the Cardano ecosystem or just connecting to people, join. And if you want to have a room, you just can use the QR code and apply for hosting your own breakout room. So without further ado, let's get into the after town hall by the Catalyst Swarm and the Catalyst community in cooperation with Catalyst Swarm and Spokra. So what is the after town hall about? No. You want to host a room? Yes, simply take your slot. So if you have a good idea on what to do next week, you can just use the QR code, and we have now an official onboarding. So you can just fill out the Google Forms. It's quick and short, and then we will see you next week. But what is the after town hall about? So it's about connecting with other Catalyst community members. It's about participating in meaningful discussions and collaborations. And it's about catalyzing new ideas and improving processes together. So it's all about community interaction and getting involved. And therefore we have a lot of cool breakout rooms for you today. So the first one is how to be a CA by the Catalyst School. So somebody of the Catalyst School, Victor, I don't know.
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's going to be an introduction to new CAs. So if you want to be a CA in Fund 6 and you don't know where to start, join us today.
Cool. Next up, we have the Sala de Café. So Ajax or Roberto. Maybe they are still muted. So let's just jump to the next one. Or
hello, thank you, Jacob. I want to invite to all the Spanish speakers to join to Sala de Café. We will talk about the Project Catalyst ecosystem, and we will talk especially today to the Spanish proposal and different kind of ideas. So thank you so much for the space, Jacob.
Cool. Then there is something about climate change. Nori or Melanie, what is that about?
I had an elephant actually changed for my picture, but we'll have to go with the sunflower. So climate change is the elephant in the room, our greatest challenge yet. How will Cardano solve this wicked problem? Join us as we're seeking input and collaboration on our challenge setting to address climate change with the urgency and importance it requires of us, the Cardano community. Thank you.
Very cool, Melanie. Next up, there is proposal promotion.
Yes, hello. If you have a proposal or would like to see what proposals people are offering for Fund 6, pop in there and participate with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. And then there's a Cardano and social impact, or multiplied with social impact. So Lisa or Anna?
Yes, so we are really new in the Catalyst community. Last week we talked about space of urgency, the work we're doing with the conference, disruptive technologies, and how we're trying to say, hey, let's together onboard the arts and cultural community and increase the social impacts we're doing. This week also Anna is here, and maybe Anna, you can say something about where we ask the community for help for today.
Hello all together. First of all, thank you for having us. This is my first town hall ever. I'm very impressed by all your work and creativity. And yeah, we're happy to host the breakout room to get you all together and get some help of the community as well. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm a bit nervous at the moment. Because like the creative communities that we are having, this is an enormous amount and on creative input, which always led into social change, no matter which branch we're talking about. So it's kind of a knowledge gap, like I could say for myself. It's like, well, I'm learning every day new stuff about what the Cardano and the Catalyst community has on opportunities. And I really would love to make like a transitioning community hub with workshops where we can like translate to noobs like myself to onboard like all the people into the community so that they can experience the same amazing universe that we are experiencing at the moment. So I really hope that some of you join us and help us solve some riddles and questions. Thank you.
Cool. That sounds great. Thank you. So next up, we have the Star Funding Challenge. Tyler or Tim? All right.
This is Allison. I can jump in on that as well.
All right, Allison.
I mean, I'd just add to what I said previously. This is just an open breakout room where we invite anyone interested in talking about proposing or ideas around rapid funding mechanisms to join us and brainstorm.
Perfect. And then we have the challenge setting workshop by Chris.
Hey guys, not much more to add since the presentation a while ago, but if it is your first time putting forward a challenge setting challenge, stop by, ask some questions, and yeah, look forward to seeing you there.
Cool. Then we have something about smart contract safety by Randall. So Randall. Maybe Randall is muted. So let's just skip to the next one and then Randall comes back. So then we have a stake pool operator room by Spokra. What is the stake pool room about?
I think they are all muted.
They are all muted, okay. But I guess the stake pool operator room is pretty self-explanatory, and smart contract safety.
Can you hear me now?
Randall is here, perfect.
It turns out when you select the right mic, we're here because we believe that the third generation blockchain at Cardano is going to be consumer ready. And we want to do the things that make it consumer ready. And being able to trust the smart contracts with transparency, for me, is part of that story. We're looking for people to come and be with us in developing the standards to make that possible. And so I invite you to come and join our team and our community and help create that possibility.
Very nice. Last up, we have the Catalyst Circle secretary candidates. So Felix.
There we can interview the candidates who signed up for the, well, what it says already, Catalyst Circle secretaries, which will work closely with the facilitators to support the circle. And Jonathan will be there as well to help out. Thanks, John.
Great to hear. And then we have by Tivo, again, the mini proposal workshop. So Tivo.
Hello. Since we have a few hours left and everybody who is working behind the YouTube listening this in, I'm working on your proposal. I encourage you to join in this session and together we could co-create a final touch for your proposal.
That sounds great. And last up, we have Gameful Team Building by Haley.
Yeah, hi folks, I'm Haley. I've been working in the field of collaboration for over 10 years now. I think it's a capability that you can develop on purpose. And more recently working with my friends at Amble Studio to make games that help people develop their teamwork capabilities. These are games that have, they're more like role-playing games or story games that don't have a huge digital component. They can be played online. So I just learned about PlayerMint. I'm looking at that and that's really cool. And so, yeah, some of our games are free to play. I did check in a proposal, but really happy just to talk about whether it's something the Cardano community can use for all teams that you are working on things.
Wow. Thank you. So many interesting breakout rooms again. So how do we proceed from now on? So if you're looking right now on YouTube, just click the link below and jump into the Zoom call right now. Then you can just join us here live in the Zoom call and join one of the few breakout rooms. And how can you come to the breakout room? So in the bottom right corner, there is this short note where you can just click on the breakout rooms. A list will pop up and you can just select the room you're most interested in, click join. And over the time, you can just switch around depending on which room you like the most. There will be a Zoom link posted in the different chats for all the people who need it. It's a tool of presenting interactively information and collaborating together, but every respective host will share their screen, so you shouldn't worry. And if you got any more question on how to reach the room you want to go, just raise your hands afterwards. I will be here and then we will navigate you to the room. So just jump into the room, enjoy, have a good time. And don't forget, if you want a breakout room for an interesting topic, if you're developing something, if you need community input or want to discuss something special, just look at the video again and go to the QR code. There you can just fill out the Google Forms for next